All right, welcome to supply. Supply, not demand, that's demand. Demand is very different from supply. So chapter 4, you ready? Check out that definition. You see the definition of supply down here? What is wrong with that definition? Because something is wrong with this definition. Compare it to demand. Pause the tape, find out. All right, you're back. What's wrong with this definition compared to the regular definition? See here? Quantity. Singular. That's wrong. Take your pen or pencil. Cross that line out. Or, down here, write IES, because it should be quantities of a good or service producers are willing and able to sell at different prices at a particular time. 6 parts, just like demand. Very, very similar. Plural quantities. Particular good or service. Particular time. Able. Willing. Willing and able. They want to and they're able to. But quantities, prices, plural. In other words, this whole thing is supply. All of these prices and all of these quantities together make up supply. You can see here, nice graph. The whole thing is the supply curve. There should be an S1 up here. There should be an S1. Please put it in. Feel free to plot and dot, connect, and put an S1 at the end. You'll discover supply is upward sloping, very, very different from demand. Very different. Do not think what people want to buy. Do not think what people want to buy. Do not think what people want to buy. We are talking supply. Supply is how much businesses want to sell. How much, the quantity, the amount. How much they are willing and able to sell. This should look familiar. This is a market. Notice how they add up each of the individual producers to get the market at the end. You're graphing the market. And like you would see down here, there should be an S1. Yeah, they screwed that up too. You see up here? At a price of $2, how much will the market supply? Well, that's not supply, that's the quantity supplied. At $2, a specific price, you can find a specific quantity supplied. Pow pow, $2. Bam, 11. That's not supply. This whole thing, all of it, is supply. The whole freaking function. Which brings me to this. Notice that if we change the price like I have in the packet, if we change the price, we're simply moving up the price. We're going from this place here up the supply curve to here. We're simply changing the price, increases the quantity supplied. It does not change supply. Supply does not change if the price changes. Prices, quantities, plural, all of it is supply. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, there are a few things that you need to know that actually change supply itself. Wow, this is so fun. And notice what we're saying here. When we change supply, you shift it sideways, horizontal, left, and right. Do not think up and down. You'll get the wrong answer. So I'm going to hold the price constant because let one thing at a change at a time. So there are 3 things that change supply. You'll notice on pages 57 and 58. I say again, there are 3 things that change supply. You should know them here on page 57 and 58. Here's one, right? Marginal production. If the costs change, a business's supply curve will change. How many producers are there? And what do they expect about future price? You should read these things. I mean, really, you should. So back to my story. In the handout, in the packet, it says supply shifts to the right, which means more. We're moving away from 0 because you know the 0 is here in the corner. We're moving away from 0 at the same price. So even though the price hasn't changed, the amount supplied, the quantity supplied has changed. It's increased. It's more. And you should know why. Once again, let's not forget that supply is upward sloping. So if I move it left, That's less. More. Less. More. So what I'm telling you is that the supply curve can shift left, it can shift right, and it's positively sloped. As the price increases, so will the quantity supplied. As the price decreases, the quantity supplied will decrease. You might want to think of it like this. Up, up, and away. Superman, up, up, and away. Notice when the price increases, the quantity supplied increases. And conversely, if the price were to fall, the quantity supplied would fall towards zero. Get it? Did supply change in this picture? Right, it did not. It did not change. The quantity supplied changed because the price caused it. We moved along the supply curve from one point to another. But think of it as up, up, and away. So the supply curve is positively sloped. And long story short, it shifts left, it can shift right. Left is less, right is more. Do not think up and down. Think left and right. What would cause the supply curve to shift left when it comes to marginal cost? More marginal cost increase or marginal costs decrease? Which one would cause it to shift to the left? Pause the tape and answer. Wrong! An increase in marginal cost would cause the supply curve to... Yeah, I know, you probably said that, right? Yep. Supply curve shifted to the left because marginal costs increased. Labor costs more, supply will shift left. On the other hand, marginal cost falls, the supply curve will shift to the right, meaning they can provide more at each and every price. That's code for the whole thing. So more supply, not less, if the marginal cost falls. How about that number of producers? Well, obviously, if there's more producers, the supply curve will shift to the right. Remember this? Back a few pages. Remember that? If we add another group in here, what's going to happen to these numbers? They're going to get bigger, which means the supply curve shifts to the right. And when it comes to the expected future price, if you have an inventory, a supply, a quantity on hand, on shelves, ready to sell, but you expect the price to go down in the future, chances are your profit will fall. Do you want to sell it in the future at a lower price, or do you want to sell it now at a higher price? Exactly. You want to sell it now. So in other words, you're going to change the supply itself. At each and every price, you're going to provide more. On the other hand, you're a supplier. You sell. You make money. If you expect the future price like next week to go up, I mean big time, like a couple bucks, you're probably going to want to hang on to your inventory and sell it in the future at a higher price. So what's up? You're going to provide less now. Supply curve shifts to the left. Once again, think sideways, towards zero, away from zero. Any questions, comments, or smart remarks, please forward them to Donald Trump. Just kidding. How about that doctor guy, Fauci? No, he doesn't know nothing either. Check my office hours. We'll talk. Alrighty, bye.